We are here at Macey's Cooking Corner. My name is Afua Daines and I'm your host for tonight. We have Reg McDaniel and he's going to be teaching us how to cook some delightful dishes. Good evening, Reg.
Good evening, Afua. Nice
How are you?
I'm super great, but I'll get better.
Well, what are you known as? I love your name, Reg McDaniels. What do people call you usually?
Reg.
Reg?
Or Metal Man.
Or Metal Man. Oh, very nice, very nice. So what are you going to cook us today?
I'm going to do a couple of breakfast items, and before we do though, I just wanted to do a quick little trick that might interest your viewers.
Okay.
How many times have you boiled an egg and it's really hard to get the shell off?
Oh, often.
Okay. Well, the way you do it so that it comes off easily every single time, usually you put your egg in cold water, set your timer for 20 minutes and turn it on, and it's done. Well, if you add a little salt, and you set your timer for 15 minutes rather than 20 minutes. Then at the 15-minute mark, and then the timer goes off, you take a little potato masher and you hit the egg like that. And now it'll soften up between the shell and the actual egg and it'll peel quite easily. You can do several eggs at once or just one like we just did there.
Just lightly
just to break it.
Right.
And it's done. Wow. So there's a little trick for you.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So we're going to do some breakfast dishes today. And this first one is one of my favorites. I call it the microwave omelet. And if you do it correctly, it will taste like biting into a cloud of cotton candy that's an egg. And the ingredients are quite unusual, but the taste is divine. So I know that you don't need me to show you how to fry bacon or fry sausage or saute onions and bell peppers and mushrooms. So in this pan here I have some mushrooms, some bell peppers, onions, and a couple of strips of cooked bacon. And that's what's going to go in our omelet when we're done. To make the omelet, what you're going to need is a high-powered KitchenAid type whipper, because you're going to take your egg whites and you're going to whip them up till they're like a meringue. You're going to separate the eggs from the yolks. So let's do that right now. And for just a regular recipe, it usually just takes 3 eggs. So I'm going to separate the egg so that the egg yolk stays in the shell and the egg white drops into my bowl here. And of course it's really important that you don't get any of the yolk into the white or it won't whip.
Can you use a blender? Or does it have to be a...
Well, if you're making meringue, you usually use one of these kind of mixers. And you can use the handheld that you have the little beaters, you know, beating. So that's one. And I love the Tupperware egg yolk separator. They don't make them anymore, but they're wonderful to separate the egg yolk from the white, and I have one of those at home. That's number 2, and finally our third egg. And I'm glad to say we've had success. No egg yolk has gotten into the egg white. Okay, so we have our 3 egg yolks in a separate bowl, and our egg whites here. Now we'll whip that again, but before we do, just so this doesn't drown out the sound, you take 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. Yes, I said mayonnaise. Hand me that little red spatula there. Thank you. And put it with your 3 egg yolks. So 1/3 cup for every 3 egg yolks. So if you're doing for a larger family, just double the recipe, put 6 yolks and 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. It's important that it's mayonnaise, whether it's Western Family or Kraft mayonnaise, doesn't matter. But it cannot be salad dressing or Miracle Whip salad dressing, totally different taste, and it would ruin the whole effect. The last item we add to this concoction is a tablespoon of water. Then we just mix these together. While I'm mixing that, I'll turn this back on. Okay, the next step is we gently fold this egg yolk mayonnaise mixture into our egg white meringue. You don't want to whip it up and beat it in too much, just enough to get the whole thing to turn yellow pretty much. So this is really quite fast. It took us about 2.5 minutes to make the meringue and about a minute to mix the eggs and the other stuff. So it's really fast breakfast. The only thing that takes time is making your ingredients that are going to go in the omelet. Okay, now you need for a microwave omelet, you want a glass pie plate, or you can use a microwavable plate. And you have 2 or 3 choices on how you want to prepare the dish as far as before you put this inside. One is you can take what I like is a butter flavored cooking spray, spray it in, it gets the edges, you want the edges coated and the center. Second one is you could take a pat of butter, put it in the oven a second or in the microwave and melt the butter and then go like this and get it swirled around all over so it doesn't stick. That's the purpose of it. Then we take our mix. I took about a third of it. Makes quite a nice little omelet for just 3 eggs as far as size goes. Then I just push down on it to get it completely to fill the dish itself, okay? Now the next step is critical. You're gonna have to practice a few times because as we all know, microwaves are different on their wattage. And I haven't tried this one yet, so we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna microwave it for about 2.5 minutes and I'm gonna test it to see if it's done enough and then we'll go from there. So while that's taking its 2.5 minutes, you can take a second pie plate or regular plate that's microwavable. Let's put some cooking spray in it, like we did the first one. Get our second omelet going so you can have, once one is done, you can put it on the plate and start the next one. And there goes our timer. So our first one's ready. And I think it was, based on looks, I think it maybe be a little less time on my next one. Okay, so one way of doing this is just put your plate like this. So we're going to put the omelet in the microwave. So we have our first omelet. We're going to take our plate that we're going to serve it on. Just turn it upside down like that. And it comes off. It's supposed to come off. There it goes. So we have our light omelet. And then we're going to take some of our ingredients here. I'll put a piece of bacon right there. A little bit of mushrooms and onions and bell pepper, which are my favorite things on an omelet. Put a little cheese on it. Never met a cheese I didn't like. I always like to have a little bit of omelet with my cheese. Then we'll close it halfway, like that. And finally put a little more cheese on top. Now you can serve it just like this, or you can put it in the oven for just a few minutes to melt the cheese on top. And let's have you try it. I'll give you a fork. So you try and tell us what you think.
Okay.
Tastes like crap, tell them it tastes wonderful.
Good. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the microwave, so that's why.
And that was fast. I mean, how long does it usually take you to make the
10 to 15 minutes.
Right. And you've got to
The thing that takes the most time is just sauteing your vegetables. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
This part doesn't take any time at all.
Protein rich breakfast.
Yeah. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to do a breakfast Mexican type burrito. Doesn't take much time, it's a lot of fun to make, and tastes just like the ones you get at the restaurants, in my opinion. So what I've done is got a little pan going here, and you put a little bit of butter in there, or your bacon grease, whatever it is. Then you have your usual scrambled egg here. So I'm going to pour that in and scramble it. Meanwhile, I've got this pan going super hot, so I'll put a burrito in there. And then on the side, I did some Jimmy Dean sausage, some potatoes, and then Macey sells Western Family green chilies mild. So you want to take about 1 or 2 tablespoons, depending on how much is in your family. Put that in with the potatoes and the Jimmy Dean sausage. And we're going to mix that. Meanwhile, the scrambled egg almost done. A little bit higher. There we go. Okay, we're going to flip our tortilla. And while that's cooking, there's a thing of cheese in that bag over there, if you'll hand that to me, and the grater here going. Thank you. So you can stir that for me, that'd be great. I don't have to do everything tonight.
I am your assistant.
There you go. Let me know when that's about done.
Okay, this is done.
Okay, go ahead and turn the heat off. We'll take this and add it with it. Stir that in.
Smells good.
Okay. Now
Turn that down a little bit.
yeah. Okay, now we're going to take and put some of this on our little burrito here. So you got your green chilies, your potatoes, your egg, and your Jimmy Dean sausage. Jimmy Dean just tastes really Mexican-like to me. And then a little bit of cheese. And then if you like, and I do, just put a little smear of sour cream right along there. So I've got some sour cream here. Whoops. Okay. Now you just curl up the bottom like that, so it's not going to drip and leak everywhere. Roll it up, and you've got your breakfast burrito. Give that a try.
That looks good.
I'll start another one.
Cut it up.
You can just keep going. You have 2 pans going with 2 burritos if you have a larger family.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and try it.
Just bite it.
Yeah. Got all over yourself, but hey, that's a good sign.
Really good. And that was fast.
Extremely fast. Once again, 10 to 15 minutes, that's all it takes. But you try those ingredients that I've mentioned and see if it doesn't taste like the burrito. And you can also put some salsa on it. I'm not a big salsa fan except with chips.
Right.
So
Yeah,
salsa makes
good.
it, you know, for some of you watching it, the salsa is going to make it or break it for you. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so that's it
And
for tonight.
I love the sausage you were talking about.
Yeah. No other sausage tastes quite as good as that one, I promise you.
Okay.
And it's the original, not the sage or the maple. It's Jimmy Dean original. Okay. Well, thanks for having me. And if you want to learn more about me and want to see me again, send us an email, I guess, maybe let people know that you're watching this and you want to see more. I've got 4 or 5 more recipes up my sleeve that I'd love to show you. And some other tricks that you've probably never seen before, like how to do pomegranates 3 different ways and coconuts 3 different ways, which we'll just show as tips, okay? Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks for having me.
being here. Yes.
You bet.
Well, that was Reg McDaniel, the Metal Man. That was delicious, what he made tonight. We are here at Macey's Cooking Corner every Thursday, 7 o'clock. We'd love to have a live audience. We have a live audience, so please do come and join us here at Macey's Spanish Fork every Thursday at 7 p.m.